Okay, so I'm going to hold the mic up here and hopefully it works better than when I put it here because I returned the other one because I'm not going to keep it if it's not working in my computer. Okay, so today we are talking about this because this is coming up quite a bit with my coaching and I want to support you guys out there and anyone who listened. So we're going to talk in this video about why it feels so hard to manifest the version of your SP and like maintain it. And I'm going to give you the fucking answers that a lot of coaches aren't really talking about because they don't really know because they haven't done this and they're trying to teach you. So I'm going to share with you what I'm fucking personally going through and what I see happening with people that are in this process. And I'm going to give you some amazing reminders and motivation to stay the fucking course. Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, conscious life and success coach and licensed mental health therapist. All right. So before we dive in, if you feel like you need additional support, then I have email coaching available. I definitely have one-on-ones. I also have a paid Facebook group. I have a free Facebook group. So everything you need to know is in the description box below. Check out the links. And I also have an online course, How to Manifest Your SP Back and Keep Them for Good. That is below as well. Okay, so let's talk about this because this keeps coming up a lot and you really have to understand this about this whole SP journey. So we have to look at something. Your consciousness creates your reality. By the way, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold this thing, so I'm a hand talker. It's kind of annoying. So your consciousness creates your reality, okay? So you have to understand that this is never about your SP. This is about you because they are simply reflecting back to you what the fuck you're focused on in your mind about who you are in regards of them and who you believe they are as well. So this is why it gets frustrating because we are so used to going outside of us and saying, please change your behavior. Oh, now I feel better. Because then we don't have to do any of this work. We don't have to battle 10 to 20,000 opposing thoughts in our mind that are running a fucking story of all our failed relationships, of how we feel about ourselves, how we think this person feels about us, staying in the concept of self, of being rejected, not wanted, not chosen, all this shit, right? So this is why it feels hard because people think I'm going to manifest them back in and everything's great. And it's fucking not. It's not. So this is the realist you're going to get because you need to understand that this whole game is about you. Now, to get them in is easy, in my opinion. Manifesting them back in is fucking super easy. It's keeping them, creating the version of them because, again, they're just reflecting to you what's going on with you. And so many people, like when they start learning about this and applying it, and again, it's a process. It's not like you're going to read this stuff, read about Neville, listen about Neville, and just get it all of a sudden. Now you can manifest and claim that this is who you are, that you understand everyone as you pushed out, because that's what I did. And that's how I just all of a sudden, like it really clicked on me in a whole nother level. So you can certainly do that. So I suggest try that too if you want to have the information come to you in a new way where you have a deeper understanding with it. But I want you to understand something, that it's not about needing them to change. They will change. That is law of assumption. Once you change your thought patterns around them and yourself enough, it will manifest. But this is what people keep doing, especially in the beginning stages, right? They keep focusing, did the SP change it? Did the SP change it? They're not changing. And then you're fixated and attached to that 3D version of them. And that is controlling your thoughts. That is controlling your self-concept that I'm rejected, they don't want me, it's not working. And then because you keep, thinking that and dwelling on that, you keep creating more and more of those same fucking conditions that are attached with that self-concept. You really have to understand the self-concept, because that's where your perspectives are. So you can affirm all day shit about your SP and they'll come in and show you that, but then you're really like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because your self-concept is I don't feel loved and valued and wanted or chosen unless they show me that behavior. So then you're always going outside of you to try to force them to do something, when the whole fucking game is about you overcoming your old story, and then they will conform to that, and you don't got to do a fucking thing. Because when you reaffirm who the fuck you are, and you reaffirm the self-concept that I am chosen, I'm a priority, I matter, I always win in love, I am the one that's claimed, whatever it is that makes you feel like, yes, this is who I am, and you claim that, you start seeing your reality different. You start having different perspectives and viewpoints, like, yeah, this is who I am, which will just naturally make it easier for you to affirm about them. And when you're not seeing it reflected in your 3D from your SP, it won't fucking take you down the rabbit hole, so to speak, because you're affirming such a good self-concept that of course this is going to happen because I'm fucking amazing. And that takes, you can shift into that fucking reality super fast. Like I'm telling you, people are like changing their concept of self, and then they hear from their SP like immediately, or they, start having it reflected back in their 3D in like a fucking hour. Like it really happens fast when you start viewing yourself different. So this is the thing to remember, is that you've held this story for a long time. Now, just because we've held a story for a long time doesn't mean it's going to take us the same amount of time to shift it. Thank goodness, because we'd all be fucked if that was the case, right? But you also have to be real with yourself in the sense that whenever I'm seeing something I don't like, or I'm seeing like nothing is showing in the 3D about the SP, that it's working or they're coming in or whatever, this is where you just have to keep going within. It's just about you going within and turning away from out here and going inward and focusing on yourself and what you want to manifest, and dwelling in that, persisting in that. You keep persisting in that. That is the key word here. Repetition, persistence, same thing. You don't stop until it manifests in your 3D completely. Now, this is why it feels hard. Because people start the process, the mental diet. The mental diet is literally what you're breaking. You're breaking the old thought patterns of your self-identity. You're breaking the old thought patterns of how you see people show up for you, whether it's just relationships in general or just with this one person. And so this is why it's never about them, it's about you. And once you start really understanding that, then you'll understand when something's showing up with my SP that doesn't feel good, because this is what I've had to train myself on. I used to cut them out. I would cut them out. I've cut this one out many times when I just didn't want to deal with it, because it's easier to do that. It's easier to say, I don't want to deal with this shit. I'll go, they'll come back. I'm not worried about it. But here's the problem. Yes, they'll come back, because mine always did. And I still have to do the same work, because it's always about me. It's overcoming me. It's about overcoming you, which is why it's not them. They're simply just reflecting back to you what the hell's going on inside of you. So when you have an experience with them that doesn't feel good, it's understanding that, okay, I got a story in there that created this, so I have to go within. I have to turn away from out and turn towards in. I don't even think that made sense, but you know what I mean. And shift that focus in my mind about who I am in the reality, my self-concept, and who they are. And you have to change the story of them, definitely. But most people keep needing and looking at their SP for confirmation to show that it's working, to show that they love them, that it's changing. And this is where they get tripped up, because they don't see the evidence of it. So they start getting frustrated. And then they say, because this work can be exhausting, because you're literally going against thousands, if not tens of thousands of thoughts that are on autopilot and running amok in your mind every fucking day. So it takes effort, and it takes discipline, and it's repetitiveness. It's not about a magic affirmation. It isn't about a fucking technique. It's about you saturating your mind and changing your thoughts to focus on what you want. And none of us have really been taught that. So you're learning a new skill set, which takes a lot of practice for you to master, because it's not like you thought about your SP one day. That's when the shit is easy. When you don't have tens of thousands or thousands of opposing thoughts on a subject, it's very fucking easy to just let it go. That's why I get very annoyed with people out there that are like, oh, just, if you do a visualization and you drop it. Well, most people don't drop it when it's about an SP because they want the relationship. They're wanting to reconcile. This person's on their mind all the time. So you're not able to drop it. So what you're doing is you're shifting your thought patterns from what you don't want and the old story and redirecting your mind to focus on what you want with the new story. And that takes a lot of repetition. And Neville's very, very, very fucking clear in his lectures, in all his books, where he talks about the mental diet is the key here. It's more powerful than the visualization, because he says once you master your inner conversations, once you affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm, and you're on top of your mental diet, you can lay down all techniques. Because the techniques are simply to help you focus and penetrate your subconscious mind, but you have to be aware of your mental diet, because even visualizing something and having that experience, you're going to fuck it up with your mental diet all day that's going against that visualization. So this is why it's about you and not them. So you have to really understand that this whole game is you overcoming your shit, and that's how you get everything that you want. So patience is required, trust is required, and persistence is definitely required, because some people get very frustrated, and I know I've been there in the past, where it feels so much resistance and like this internal struggle to get rid of that old man, to really stop battling against those old stories and concepts. And then we go to, well, what's the quick, because I'm going to tell you about the human mind on a psychological level. The human mind does not like negative emotions. So when we experience something negative, your fucking ego is going to jump in and give you a list of the quickest ways to get yourself out of this, so you no longer have to experience this. So my go-to was just cut him the fuck out, get him out of your life, problem solved. And that's what I would do. And so, but then you still have to do this work, because then when they come back in your life, or you date someone new, your old concept of self shows itself again, and your new story about feeling insecure and not good enough and not wanted. So now you create a story about this new person in your life, which starts manifesting, which reaffirms the old concept of self. And now you're creating a new story on this new person that, oh, see, they're the same way. See, they're not calling, they're pulling away. And then you start the whole fucking process over. And I know, because been there, fucking done that. So when your mind, back to the psychological aspect, so you can understand why it feels like an internal battle, it's because your ego is saying you're in pain. You're emotionally struggling, right? Because the thought you're attached to the old story so much that it's still dominant in your mind, and that's what you're battling with, reaffirming and replacing a new story, right? So you're still stuck in that old state more so than the new state. So your ego is trying to say, well, just forget about them, just move on, go with someone else. It's better, it's easier, right? That's what a lot of people end up doing. And then guess what? They don't get what the fuck they want. Plain and simple, because whether their SP will still manifest back in their life at some point, but here's what's going to happen. They still have the old fucking story that they never took charge of. And so they will recreate a mess, and they will break up again, or they'll find new love and they won't be together much longer. It'll be a shitstorm of a relationship again, because they have not done the inner work to break the old mental rehearsal, the old mental diet of who they are in relationships and how people show up for them in relationships. So this is why it feels hard with the SP, and this is why so many people don't get what the fuck they want, because they don't push through. They're not willing to go within and focus. And it's not fucking easy every day. I know, my friends, I'm there with you. I've been there with you, but you're fucking worth it. And the uncomfortability and the discipline and that struggle that happens at times, it's all different for everyone. it's worth it, because once you get over the fucking hump, you experience it less and less, and you start manifesting what you want. This is how you're going to get what you want and break the fucking pattern and start being in control of having the kind of relationships, money, whatever it is in your life that you want. So you are your answer. Your thoughts create your reality, nothing else. So it's not that this person's doing something wrong or your shit isn't working. It's simply just reflecting to you that you just got to persist more. You haven't persisted enough to get the final outcome. So keep fucking persisting, because if you don't, then what's going to happen? You're still not going to get what you want, and you're still going to feel like shit the rest of your life because you still have failed relationships and it's not clicking for you. So you have to make the decision of, this might be hard some days, because it is going to be. You have to make the decision to trust and to push through no matter what. You're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to fucking have days where it's harder than it was, other days. That is part of this journey. We're human. We're going to have that happen in the journey. That is okay. That's not going to derail you. It's not going to block you. But you have to take responsibility for what's going on in your mind, because they are only reflecting that to you. So you have to stop assuming that it isn't working because you're not seeing it move fast enough, or they're coming in hot and cold, because that is the fucking work. They're still mirroring to you the shit that's going on in your mind. So it's just information that I still just have to persist. So some of the things that I personally do when I'm experiencing that is I will always focus on my self-concept, because that is something deep within me. And I've shared this in my podcast, being in foster care, not having a father, no siblings, and, the relationship that I had with my mom. I had some deep shit from my childhood of that I'm not wanted, I'm not chosen, I'm not important. That's how I felt for a very long time. And a lot of it was subconscious. I wasn't even aware of it. So I will always focus on my self-concept and reinforce it. And when the 3Ds kicking me in my teeth and showing me the messengers in my life that I still have work to do with that, I feel what I feel, and then I fucking keep persisting in my new self-concept, because I want the reality where this is no longer. So I will keep persisting until it's no longer. That's what you do. And it's already moving. It keeps moving and getting less and less than, because I keep persisting in it. I'm not giving up and saying, fuck it, it's not working and this is too hard. And then I just boohoo cry and then I just fucking go back to my old shit. That's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. So you need to fucking make the commitment and the decision to yourself. It isn't about other people trying to make you believe. You make yourself believe. You have to decide you're worthy of living a better life than what you have been. So then the other thing to do is, obviously, when you're feeling better about yourself, because when you change your concept of self, you're naturally linking to a reality where this is who you are. So you're like, hell yeah, I feel good, right? Then you can affirm about your SP. But you can also do it in a way where sometimes people, they get, and everybody's different. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a process, and I'm not coaching everybody on YouTube. So I'm just giving you different general ideas and things that can help, but you have to decide kind of if this fits for you or not. Cause again, if I'm coaching you, I'll know what is best for you in that moment. But sometimes when people are affirming, like trying to get action from them in the beginning and they're not getting it, they get very disheartened and they keep going back to it's not working, and they're fixated on the 3D. So when somebody's really struggling with that, I really support them in, obviously, the self-concept. They can still keep affirming for their SP, because you have to change your story about them. But I will also have them look at it in a different way of just affirm, like, I'm so thankful for this happy, loving, committed relationship that I have with this person. This relationship with this person just gets better and better every day. This relationship with this person is so fucking good. Like, I can't even believe, I never even imagined how good this could get. Like, and just start going that in a general way, but it's still about them. So it's kind of living in the end more, right? Like, you're feeling really good because you're feeling the state of, yes, you're affirming a new story, and the reality, you're linking to that reality on the 4D of that this relationship is amazing. This relationship's getting better and better. It's so fucking good that like I never even expected it could be this good. That's how good it is. And that really helps people sometimes when they're struggling with, I'm not saying, the constant calling or whatever, like all of that will come. It'll all come as long as you just keep changing your story and persisting and living from the end, thinking from the end. That's the problem with people is they keep reacting to the 3D. They're too attached to the 3D. And I get it. And when you're attached to the 3D, you automatically shift your concept of self back to the old story. You keep focusing on it's not working. They don't want me. I'm rejected. I'm not good enough. It's not happening. And all you're doing is you're going to keep recreating more of those conditions because that's the reality you're in. That's the reality you're focused on. So your consciousness is your awareness. So whatever you're aware of and you're putting your attention to is what has to expand and manifest. So you have to change your story. So the recap of all of this is this job is about you. It's never about them. They're the fucking gifts that we get to mirror to us the work we need to do on our mental diet, on our self-concept, on our assumptions of them, so we can break this fucking code and actually get what we want. And they're going to serve that purpose if we choose them to serve that purpose. And then you're going to have the beautiful relationship you want at some point. So you can't give up. Stop giving up on yourself and fucking push through, because what are your options? Even if you date someone new, you're taking yourself in that relationship. So if you have not changed yourself internally and how you view you and who the fuck you are and relationships and that you win in love, then you're focusing when your self-concept says, I'm not good enough, I don't get the relationships, I'm insecure, people don't want me, I'm always rejected, I'm never chosen. When that shit kicks in again because you haven't done the work to change that, to feel different, to create a new story about yourself where it's like a habit for you to think that way, then your new person will simply have to reflect that back to you too. So the only reason why the SP feels much harder is because they're just reflecting back to us what is going on with us, and we just want them to change so we don't have to keep dealing with us. I mean, that's the easiest route, okay? But it doesn't fucking work because that's not how your reality is created. Your reality is created by what is going on in your mind dominantly. So the work is always about you. It's never about them. When you get all this going on, they will simply reflect that and you'll have everything that you want from them. So I hope you found this video helpful. You might need to play this one a couple of times and like save it and go revisit this when you're doubting and you're ready to give the fuck up and you're struggling, because this is what it takes to overcome the old man, to overcome yourself, to get what the fuck you want. You're literally breaking a habit that has been lifelong. So it's not going to happen in one night. It's not going to happen in a week. It's a process, and you get better and better at it, and you start seeing more and more favorable conditions, and you start feeling more relaxed and more chill because you start understanding this shit on a deeper concept that, all right, this means nothing. I just got to go within and keep focusing and persisting, and then this will conform. And you relax in that. You don't have to go force it. You let it come to you because you don't got to do a fucking thing. It comes to you and you're going to get everything that you want. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.